Hello, beautiful souls. Jane Warren Campbell here with you once again. And I'm here today with a very special guest, Danny, who is from Germany. And we're here to share with you a very interesting experience that Danny had. And that led to us coming together and presenting ourselves here to you today. And it's all about my book, Conversations with a Tree. I think many of you know I've written that book. For anyone who's new to my channel, I am the author of the book, Conversations with a Tree, which began in 2012 when I moved to a new community and found a forest trail that I used to go to every day. And there was this beautiful brook that you walked along. And then you came to a little pond. And when you crossed the bridge by the pond, the trail separated. And in the middle of the two paths was this beautiful hemlock tree that I used to sit and just enjoy myself and take in the scenery. And at the time, I was also writing a channeled book. And I think that may be why I was so open to knowing that one day, as I was sitting at the base of this tree, the tree asked me to be her scribe. She told me that she wanted me to share her wisdom with the world. And I was very excited, even though had been channeling for many years at that point. It never occurred to me to ask a tree for wisdom, but that is indeed what came through with this tree. And so here we are now in 2024, 12 years later. Back then it was the Chinese year of the dragon, and I love dragons, so I remember that. And here we are in another Chinese year of the dragon. So a complete astrological cycle. And in December of 2024, I received a very surprising email from Danny, who is here with me today, which had to do with the trees. And it's like, once again, the trees were reaching out to me. And Danny wrote me to tell me that she had an experience that led her to also recognizing that the trees were reaching out for help. And so I will let Danny introduce herself. She's German, and so the messages from the trees are spreading far and wide. And she will introduce herself and share with you what her experience was as the tree reached out to her and how that came about. So, Danny, thank you so much for being here. I'm so delighted that we have made this connection together, and excited for people to hear your story and how the trees came to you. So please do share.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Jane. I'm very
Mm,
happy to be here. Yeah, I'm
mm,
German and I studied languages for 16 years. And after 16 years, I went above the level of science in the old way, let's say. And I became very spiritual, and that led to a channel. I have my own channel, which is called Lightful Wisdoms. And there I translate mostly from English, but also from other languages. I know wisdoms from Jesus. And one day I found Jane on YouTube, and I was fascinated of the wisdoms of Henrietta, and I shared them with my group, and they were also very happy about that. And
mm,
yeah, one day, it was maybe half a year later, I was meditating like every day when I suddenly went into a rainforest, and it was in my right mind, and it was so alive. It was so beautiful, and it was almost like paradise. And I was jumping around like a little kid.
mm.
And to enter a rainforest was not my focus in that meditation. I had my own focus, and I wanted to learn more, to channel, and I talked to Jesus and so on. But suddenly I entered that rainforest. So it was not my intention to do that.
Mm.
And after I was jumping around like a little kid, there was suddenly a rope coming in with a hook. And I was just I don't know, shocked. It was horrible. And I opened my eyes. That evening was finished. And I knew that was a call for help.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I thought, what may I do? But then it was clear knowing I knew what I had to do to translate the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I slept that night, and the next morning that sadness was still noticeable. So it was really a deep thing. And I waited a couple of weeks, and then finally I wrote you an email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you replied very kind and friendly and like you are. And that's how we began to work together, right?
Yeah, Danny approached me and asked if shared that story with me, and I thought, wow, that really is a message from the trees. Asked if she could translate the book into German and share it on YouTube. And I realized, when Henrietta reached out to me, she really did want her messages to reach people around the world. And I honestly haven't promoted it that much. So I thought, what a wonderful way for more and more people to have access to this information in this book. And so many people have told me when they've read the book that it changed their relationship with the forest. Like they will never feel the same when they go in the forest because they know now the wisdom that the trees hold. And so I realized that by sharing the book on YouTube and giving it freely to people, more and more people will become aware of the depth of what trees and the forest and nature holds for us, and also more awareness of how much we need nature and how much nature needs us. And so it was a beautiful call that I very quickly decided, yes, let's do this. And so what we're going to do is offer the book chapter by chapter. So this will be the introduction. And then chapter by chapter, as it's completed, we will offer them on YouTube. And we're just going to do this the new way, which is not to have to rush through, but just as it unfolds, because Danny has a lot more work than I do in this project, because of course she has to first transcribe it from English to German. So I'm deeply grateful that she's doing that and making it available in another language. And so we've decided to release it in both languages at the same time. So it's like a big outpouring at the same time for more people in the world to have access to this information. And Danny's also a very talented woman. She showed me some of her art, her portrait art, which is just incredible. And she has many interests. She's also a swimmer. And so, as a busy woman, the book will unfold as it's available. But it's certainly, I would say, Danny, you can give me your thoughts on this, that it's certainly a focus for each one of us. Like we're both really excited to bring this forward.
Yeah,
Anything you
of
want to add
course.
to that?
I guess in the end of February it's all done.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
what I'm thinking. And I didn't tell you yet. The Germans are quite prepared for this book. You know why? Because there was another author who wrote about the
Yes,
communication between trees.
yes, a
He's
very,
German, Peter Wohlleben. I don't know.
yes.
And
It's a very popular book
so
here
it's
as
not the
well.
same what you are doing, but
Right,
it's kind of in the way, he's kind of
right.
preparing the
Yes,
way for your book,
yes,
which is
absolutely.
good. So
Yeah,
people won't stare at it. What's that? That's crazy. No, they
yeah,
accept it. Yeah.
yeah. It's another level.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
another level, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Conversations with a Tree is a channeled book, actual messages from the trees that are very simple and deeply profound. The messages, you could read through them and not think much about them, but if you really listen to the messages, there is such profound wisdom in the simplicity of them. And one of the big invitations from nature really is to get back to a simpler life. And I think we're being led in that direction, whether we like it or not. I just feel like all the changes in the earth are really leading us back to a more simple life and to a deeper connection to nature. So it's a beautiful time to be bringing this forward.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Danni?
And anybody would like to have more love in its life. Everybody, yeah, would like to go in that direction because that direction is just positive. I mean, it's just
Right.
the trees mostly are talking about love and existence, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
so much wisdom. Yeah, I just
Yes.
wanted to share one story from a friend of mine. I contacted Ingrid, a good friend of mine, and I told her about the wisdoms of the trees. And she, even if she's also spiritual like me, she said, I didn't know that trees provide us with wisdoms. And I said, because I remembered George, the other tree, that he was
Mm-hmm.
saying, I'm not a tree. So I told her, but he's not a tree. They are not trees because
Mm-hmm.
they are just particles came put together representing a tree so
Yes.
that humans can make the experience of a tree, right?
That's
So
right.
he's just love, like you are love. You're not you're just representing the form of a woman, but what you
That's
really
right.
are, that's love. Yeah. And what I
Exactly.
love in all these wisdoms is that they're really on the same level as the wisdoms of Jesus. And that's why I brought them also into my channel, of course.
Yeah, that's beautiful that
It
you've made that
is.
connection and found that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
That
beautiful.
message from George is just an example of the profundity of the depth of information that comes from the trees. Like he's talking quantum physics, something that most people wouldn't even be able to relate to, really. It's so profound. This is what can come from the trees. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And also Henrietta, I guess it was the second channeling you had in your book. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's saying, the trees are producing oxygen and
Mm-hmm.
it's all love. And then a newborn baby on the other side of the world is taking in its first breath, but it's
Right.
love, right?
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
also so beautiful that we have just one world, right?
Right. Showing the
So
deep connection that we don't usually
Canadians,
think of.
Germans, whatever, we're just one world. We're just
That's right.
together. We are one. We are one.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for those perspectives, Danny, because it really is very beautiful. And that is what we're moving into. It's the perfect time to be sharing this in this way. So I just want everyone to know how deeply grateful I am to Danny for bringing this forward and for all the work that she's putting into it, because I dearly love the forest and the trees and nature. And I recognize it's time for that to be shared more fully. So stay tuned. Danny is going to have a new channel ready soon, and I will put the information for her channel under all of my videos that I do for Conversations with a Tree, so that if you know any people who speak German and would like to listen to her channel, then you'll have that information. And like I said, they'll be coming out in both languages at the same time. So stay tuned. Please do subscribe to Danny's and my channel so that you'll be informed and notified when the new messages come out, and feel free to share them with anyone that you think would be inspired by them. We'll also put all of our contact information below the videos. So thank you so much, Danny, for being here for this
Thank
introduction, and
you.
also for all the work that you're doing for this. And we will start with the introduction, and then we will go chapter by chapter as each one is completed. So stay tuned. Sending so much love, and we're both very excited to be sharing this deep wisdom and the excitement of what it means to be really truly connecting with nature on a deeper level again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Greetings to the most beautiful town in the world, Vancouver. It's just my favorite town. And
Thank
I love Canada, and all the people are so kind, and yeah, all the
thank
best.
you.
And yeah,
Okay, namaste.
namaste.
Welcome to Conversations with the Tree. Today I'm going to read you the introduction. This book is written by myself, Warren Campbell, and it was first written in 2013, first published in 2013, and the revised edition was published in 2018. Introduction. This book is an invitation back to love, the love of the divine reflected through nature. It is full of joy and wonder and grace, and the many challenges and changes that led me there. As crazy as it may sound, the greatest love I have ever experienced in this world has come from the trees. They love unconditionally. When I am with them, I feel like I am truly home to my own true nature as love existing. I've always had a deep reverence and appreciation for nature. As a teenager, I would often go to the forest trail behind our house and talk to the trees. Somehow they offered comfort as I struggled through challenging times. Of course, I never expected or even dreamed that one day the trees would talk to me. My communication with them expanded decades later, at a time when I was once again going through a major life transition. All that had created security for me had been ripped away, leaving me vulnerable and raw. Just as I did in my teens, I retreated to nature for solace and comfort. Being in the forest helped clear my mind of all the turmoil and troubles I was facing. There were times when my nature retreat lifted me out of my mundane state of being into a whole new experience, as I felt elevated and more expansive in my awareness. And yet I had no idea that this would lead to conversations with a tree. That's because it never occurred to me that a tree could actually communicate. All that changed one day while sitting at the base of a tall hemlock. Something extraordinary happened. I clearly sensed an invitation to be a scribe for the tree. I knew instantly that this tree wanted me to record its wisdom and share it with the world. Perhaps this hemlock knew that I was someone with the open mind to listen and the heart to proceed with the request to be her scribe. As I sat on the exposed root of that hemlock, there was no question that I was about to embark on an incredible journey. What I didn't know was the depth of the communications I would receive and the loving support that the trees have to offer. Henrietta, as my tree friend invited me to call her, guided me through my time of transformation with messages full of wisdom and grace. I was amazed at the intelligence coming through. I couldn't help but wonder how a tree could possibly know so much. I guess the real question is, how could a tree possibly know anything? Thankfully, I believe in possibilities that lie outside of our normal experience and trust my intuition to guide me in life. My interaction with Henrietta supported my understanding that there is so much more about existence itself that we just don't know. It is only in hindsight that I realize the extent of energetic support I received from this tree as I made my daily trek to the grove. I found myself experiencing firsthand a connection with the oneness of nature. I would feel my cells morphing to become part of the environment, the tree, the grass, and all that surrounded me. It is clear to me now that Henrietta guided me into that experience. Trees are aware of our plight as humans, disconnected from ourselves, from each other, and from our environment. They are patiently waiting for us to remember who we are, ready to offer their support as we discover our innate wisdom and our connection to the oneness of all life. As I write this, I realize there are many who are not ready to accept that talking to a tree is possible. It is pushing the parameters of what most would accept as reality. And yet, quantum physics and now quantum biology are expanding our understanding of the nature of existence. We are learning that plants have what some scientists call intelligence and memory. The more we keep our hearts and minds open, the more we can accept new discoveries as they arise. As we learn to trust our intuitive senses, a whole new world of possibility reveals itself. For those who feel a deep connection with nature, this book is an invitation back to love, the love of the divine reflected through nature. There is profound wisdom and healing waiting for us in the realm of nature. Because I believe that it is possible to communicate intuitively with trees, I am able to collect this wisdom. It is a skill that we all possess. I do not have magical powers. You can do this too. You can connect to a tree by greeting it with an open heart, sending love and appreciation for its beauty and its being. You can ask the tree what it would like to share with you and listen with your heart for the answer. With the desire to know life from a greater perspective than the logical mind perceives, many things are possible. As my relationship with Henrietta developed, I came to understand that the trees guide us in ways that most are unaware of. They offer insight to our problems and solace in a hectic world. And though they do not need our attention or recognition, they are happy for it. Their greatest message is for us to return to love, to our own true nature through nature. My hope is that you will feel that love as you journey through this book, and the wisdom in their messages will resonate as truth for you, revealing simple solutions to the diverse problems we face in the world today. Within these pages, you will discover that a very real yet unseen existence awaits. It is a place where anything is possible, and it's available to all who have the desire to expand into their true potential. Conversations with a Tree is written for all who are ready to live in a new world, a world where we remember our connection to nature and honor all of creation. It is an invitation for a new culture on earth, one based in love. I have been touched deep within my soul with the love that the trees have to share. The essence of that love is captured in this book as it emanates from the messages I received in our conversations. As you journey through these pages, may your heart awaken to a greater understanding of the wisdom of nature. Conversations with a Tree is really just the beginning. We are magnificent beings, capable of tapping into a source of infinite knowing, just as the trees do. The more we return to our own true nature through nature, the more we will realize our connection to all life. The more we realize our connection to all life, the more we will honor our truth as love existing.